friends, in this video I'm going to go through the simplifying expressions practice test. There are two parts to this test. Part 1 is numbers 1 through 6, and it's just identifying the math properties. So here is our word bank. We have the commutative, associative, multiplication of 1, multiplication of 0, and addition of 0. And now remember the commutative property. This means we move things around. Move things around, okay? And the associative property, this is changing the grouping. Changing the groupings. Okay? Associative, I change the groupings. Commutative, I'm just moving things around. There will be no groupings. And then we have multiplication of 1, which is just times 1. Multiplication of 0, which will be times 0. And then addition of 0, which is just plus 0. So number 1, I'm going to look. I have 12r times 1 equals 12r. Well, I have this times 1. So multiplication of 1. Multiplication. Because I am timesing by 1. Multiplication of 1. Okay? And number 2, I have 8 times the group of w times 6. And I change that to equal the grouping of 8 times w, then times 6. So in this case, I moved my grouping, or I changed the grouping. It was around w times 6, and now it's 8 times w. And our property involving groupings is the associative property. So number 2 is associative. Okay, I changed the grouping. In number 3, I have plus 0, just addition of 0. Addition of 0. And in number 4, I have 14 plus y equals y plus 14. So you're going to notice I still have my 14 and I still have my y, but I flip-flopped them. I flip-flopped, which means I moved them around. I changed their place. And when we move things around, that's the commutative. There are no groupings, so it's just the commutative. Okay, and in number 5, I have 2 times m times 0 equals 0 times 0. So multiplication of 0. And in number 6, I have 7k plus the grouping of 5k plus 3. And that equals the grouping of 7k plus 5k plus 3. I have groupings here and I moved them. In the original one, it was 5k plus 3, and I moved it to 7k plus 5k. So this one involving groupings is the associative property. Associative. So the first 6 problems, we're just identifying the properties, and the word bank is given to you. In the second part, problems 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, now we're going to use those properties, okay? And we're mostly using the associative and the commutative. And simplifying, that means I'm going to combine things. We're combining, okay? And it's going to have either all addition or all multiplication, okay? All addition or all multiplication. So I'm going to look at number 7. I have 13z plus 25 plus 42z. I have to combine like terms. And like terms mean it's got to have the same variable, or they have to have no variable. So when I'm looking at this, I have this 13z and I have the 42z. They both have a z, so I can add those. So I'm going to rewrite this as 13z plus 42z plus 25. Okay, and imagine this is 13 zebras plus 42 zebras, and that gives me 55 zebras. And then all I have left is the plus 25. Now the 25 does not have a z, so I can't add it. This is my answer. Okay, I combine the letters I can, and I have to keep the plus 25 because I can't add 25 to the 55z. So this one was the commutative property because all I did was move things around. In number 8, I have a grouping. So we're going to use the associative property, and I'm going to change up the group. We can't do k plus 4. But what I could do is I could add 4 and 15. So I'm going to rewrite this as 15 plus 4 in a group. That's my new grouping, and then plus k on the outside. I changed the group. I put the 15 and the 4 in the parentheses. So now I just got to add it. Well, 15 plus 4, that's 19. And then I have this plus k. And 19 plus k, I have to keep that. I cannot add that. Okay? This is a letter. This is a number. They're different. Okay? 19 plus k is my answer. So this is the commutative property. This is the associative, but we're doing the same thing. Okay? We're still adding the things that we know we can add. In number 8, it was the whole numbers. In number 7, it was the z's. Okay, so I'm going to flip my paper to the back. Now I have number 9. In number 9, I'm talking about 21c plus 9a minus 10c plus 3a. And so we need to combine the like variables, our letters. So we have our c's and we have our a's. Okay. So when I read this, I say, well, 21c plus 9a, so I'm going to put the 9a in the a column, minus 10c, so I'm minusing 10c. That's going to go over by the c's. And then I have plus 3a, so I'm going to put that behind the 9a. So now I'm going to do that math. Well, 21c minus 10c, so 21 cats minus 10 cats gives us 11 cats. And then I have 9a plus 3a. 9 alligators plus 3 alligators gives us 12 alligators, or 12a. Now I don't quite have my answer. My answer, I got to put a plus sign in the middle because I can't add them, but that's what I would do if I could. Okay, so I have 11c plus 12a. That is how we do number 9. Now on number 10, I have 26 times y times 0. I can't do 26 times y, so I'm going to move this around using the commutative property so I can multiply things I know how to multiply. So I have 26 times 0 times y. Okay, I flip-flopped the y and the 0 because we can do 26 times 0. And 26 times 0, anything times 0, is 0. So then I have 0 times y. Now this gets you an A minus on your test. We could take it a step further because I don't know what y is, but any number times 0 is going to be 0. So the answer here, a perfect answer, is 0. Okay, this gets you an A minus. This would be an A plus answer. Okay, now I have 2 more. This one has groupings, this one doesn't. On number 11, I don't see any operations right away, but we have some secret ones. And so our secret ones are right here by the 2 in the parentheses. When I don't see anything, it's really a multiply. So this means 2 times the group of 17h. And now from our first algebra unit, 17h means 17 times h. So I rewrote this. This 2 parentheses 17h really means 2 times the group of 17 times h. Now I can't do 17 times h. So let's change the group. It's going to become 2 times 17 in the group because I can multiply that, and then times h. And so 2 times 17, that's going to be 34. And I have 34 times h. Now, this is a perfectly acceptable answer, but we also learned we could take this one step further, and we could make this 34H. And the reason why is we know 34H is secretly multiplication when a number and a letter are sandwiched together. Either of these answers are okay. So then our last one, very similar, just without the group. I can't do 8 times V, so let's change it around. I could multiply 8 times 6, and then I'm going to times it by V. Well, 8 times 6, we can use a multiplication chart. 8 times 6 is 48. And then I have times V, and that's fine. I could keep it. Or I can go straight one step further and do 48V. Okay, so 48B means 48 times V. Okay, so those are the answers to our practice test. Please email me if you have any questions.